Hey team, this is Mitch and Shane from Transcend. We're going to do the course overview for 2026. We're going to be using the map of the course that we've accessed through the Transcend Trails website. So you've got access to that. However, we'll try and keep things as brief as possible. There is a bit of information to get through, but we'll try and keep things as brief as we can. The event guide's already out, so if you need more information, consult that. And the event briefing comes out on August the 10th, so you can have that for more information as well. If neither of those solve your questions, check again and then send us an email. Just be mindful that we're spending a lot of time out on course in the coming weeks, so we might not get back to your emails straight away, but we will try and get through them all. Okay, far away, Shanna.
Actually, I'll just quickly mention on the website under the course sort of overview page, there is also a Strava map which will give you a similar journey through the event, but with also the elevation profile at the bottom, so you can have a look at a bit of both. Just remember when you first turn up to our event, so there are 2 car parks as you come down Wallunger Road in the Wallunger National Park.
This is for the 65 kilometre start.
65 kilometre race by Ora Banda Mining. We have this very first one, which is the Wayunga Pool. Okay, if you park there, which a lot of people will have to, the event is still a further 900 metres along. So you can either follow the trail pink markers or be careful if you're on the road, just because obviously it's dark. Then we have the Boongerup Pool, which is the actual main car park for the event. So we start just off to the top of that car park in the light tunnel. It's going to be very obvious where that is. As you start, you are going to take a very sharp left into the car park, and then at the back end of that car park, take another very sharp left back onto the trail and around. Now, these trails here are fairly narrow, so that will help spread out the field pretty early on. These first couple Ks aren't that technical, but it does get a bit technical in about a K and a half. So that will definitely put people in their place and line before they kick right and start venturing up the first ascent up towards the top of Mount Mambup or Mount Jumbuck. This climb is quite punchy, can be quite slippery, especially if it's wet. Be careful with poles. We don't want people being hit with poles behind them, so just be mindful if someone in front of you is using them. There will be some power hiking up there for sure. Now you venture up here, you will hit the top of that sort of crest. Make sure you look behind you. This is when the daylight will be starting to come up, and it's a beautiful view behind you, especially if it's a misty morning. You might have the trains coming past as well. Up the top, it's quite easy running along the ridgeline there. You'll get some views of Perth, and you'll just follow the markers along before you kick left and venture down a fairly techy, really cool, good fun mountain bike track. Again, if wet, can be slippery. You eventually get right down to the bottom to the Avon River, the Godula. So with this section here, we have had some course tampering here in the past where people have removed our flagging. Just remember, if you do get here and it isn't there, we will be trying to check, but you just follow the river along until you get to a bridge, which is Bell's Rapids. Bell's Rapids is a beautiful spectacle. There's often lots of water running through some rapids there. It's a really nice spot to check out. Potentially spectators might be waiting there for you to come through. Now, just beyond that Bell's Rapids Bridge, it opens up quite a bit into a large car park. That section, it can be, if you haven't done it before, a little bit harder to know where to go. So make sure you pay attention. But in essence, we're following the train line along. You at no point cross the ARC infrastructure train line. That is not allowed. But you go underneath the train line through a tunnel. Okay, so make sure you use a tunnel. After that, there's quite a pinchy climb up to the top, and then you drop down into another valley, which is the Bells Falls. Now, along this way, you've noticed that there's little tiles here of videos. And at your own pace, you can click on these videos and get a better overview of what these sections are like. Okay. This section features probably one of the steepest climbs in the whole course, up to past Bells Falls. Beautiful spot though, especially if we've had enough water to fill up the reservoirs and we get a bit of a fall there. And at the top there is some swings, so you can sit on the swings and enjoy the climb that you've just ascended.
Flick us through a post on Insta of you on the swing.
Yeah, tag Transcend Trails. After here, it does get quite goat traily. This isn't like a very well known or trodden trail, but it is a beautiful little trail that follows a creek. You do get to a point where you cross this creek. Again, if there's been water, you will get probably wet feet. You might be able to rock hop across potentially. There are some points on the way up through Bells Falls where you have to sort of jump over the creek. It sort of zigzags along. So yeah, have your wits about you because you are crossing the creek, which you have to sort of factor in. Now, eventually you get to this point here where you're going to turn right. Where Mitch is circling there on the map, there is a fence that's sort of laid down, a wire fence, so we'll have some rocks on that. You cross that, then you kick right. Now, we don't use the gravel track along the top here. That is a fire easement. We have used it in the past, but it's within private property, so we're trying to do the right thing and stay out of there. So there's more of a goat trail across this area here. This is quite hard to pass through if you're doing it in training because it's not flagged, but when it's flagged, it should be pretty obvious. So you follow this along, and this is the path to Aid Station 1, which is roughly 12 kilometres into the adventure. This aid station here, we just want you all to be really mindful, especially support crews, that is a community. We don't want people parking in people's driveways, making too much noise. It's really important that you respect the area so we can obviously come back as an event for future editions. This aid station will have drop bags. It's not the most decked out aid station because we pack it up we put it up and pack it up in the that morning. So yeah, you'll pass through here. If you're in a team, you'll have your first changeover, and then you'll back out into the trails and you duck down a bit of a valley. Now this section can be a little bit slippery in the wet. Again, a bit goat traily. You follow this along. It opens up onto a bit of a ridge line, and you get a nice valley view through there. Once you pass through these sort of bit more traily sections, oh no, you lost that.
No, wait a second. Oh, just featuring the website now.
Yes. So to get back to where we were, you go back to courses, back to the interactive map. This is good drill to make sure.
It was all on purpose.
Yes.
On purpose.
So once you're into this zone, you're going to come off these single tracks and you're going to get onto some fire trails. Now with the fire trails, they are very clay based, so they can be pretty slippery underfoot if wet. If it's dry, you won't even notice. Okay, there's some punchy climbs through this section that will take you up to what we dub as the mudslide. So the mudslide, if wet, can be a bit of an adventure getting down, and I think probably as more people pass through there, it will become even more of a mudslide. So we go through here, and this is a beautiful valley. It opens up over the Wooroloo Brook. The Wooroloo Brook Creek is going to be on your right. Now, depending on how much rain we have, this can be flowing a fair bit. If it's too high, we will have to divert around it. If it's just moderate, we'll pass through. If it's low, you won't even notice it. Okay, so and this is quite an advantage. A lot of people are concerned about passing through the creek, but it will actually wash the clay and mud off your shoes and help you get a bit of traction back, so it's a good thing. On the other side, you pass up quite a steep incline, which is challenging. There'll be a lot of power hiking up there. And then we get back onto the valley side of like the ridge and get some nice valley views again. This section up here is not too crazy. It's fairly flat, a little bit up and down, and you're pretty much on fire roads now. So like I said, this leg 2 has a lot of fire road. So it's probably the least technical part of Transcend. You eventually turn right here and you follow a road that's used quite a bit. This is just a bit of a false flat, so it's very runnable. You'll be able to get a bit of a rhythm up here until you get right up towards the top near Ewing Road. Now, if you get to the white gate on Ewing Road, you have ran too far. You need to come back about 50 to 100 metres and venture along. Now, we use a lot of flagging, pink tape, black arrows, the red and white tapes. You should have the GPX file on your watch and your phone. So yeah, you shouldn't have any issues, but every year we always seem to have a couple that tries to add to the adventure. Now you'll see this tile here, the scenic lookout. You do kick out that way a little bit off the fire trail. There is some rock hopping in this zone. It's very short-lived. It's a cool section. The rock monument is from the John Forrest era, who originally surveyed the area. Now we head back towards...
It's a cool area just to take stock as well, because it's got a great view both directions. A really good scenic spot.
As you start to head towards Aid Station 2 here, it will open up and that's your view to 2J, where you will be sort of running towards. Now, Aid Station 2, which is the Road Bristol aid station. This is a really well equipped aid station. It has showers, hot food, really well decked out, sort of lolly buffet, slices, everything. This is also the start of the 40 kilometre adventure. Just make note, apart from the 40 kilometre starters, but you will pass through the building. So you will go through this wool shed. It's not it is a wool shed, okay? So it's nothing too fancy.
It's a wool shed and it's older than us all, so...
Yeah. We do that because we keep the drop bags inside. So once you pass through there, you're into what we call the Peruna Wildlife Sanctuary now, which is a privately managed land. Peruna is really important because it connects Wyunga National Park to the Avon Valley National Park. So it's what we call a wildlife corridor. It is a very unique part of the course where it has a lot of large steps that can be quite awkward to go up and down. There's some very steep, pinchy climbs here. This section can zap the legs. Be careful. Take your time through here. You want to come out the other side of this section and feel like you can make the most of leg 4, which has a bit more running in it. Okay, so we're very close now to getting towards to the next aid station. So now you've done the leg 1, which is about 12 k's, leg 2, which is also about 12 k's, and this one here, which is about 12 k's as well. The last couple k's of this is actually quite easy running. You get to what we call the Nissen hut, which is a bit of a dome shed. This hut is pretty reasonable with its sort of setup, and this is also the start of the Yuan 28 kilometre adventure. Okay, so this will be a point where teams can change out. There's drop bags, and this is the back end of Peruna Wildlife Sanctuary. So just out of this, there is quite a aggressive descent. It can be quite large clumps of rocks and techie in sections, and there's a bit of a creek crossing at the very bottom of that. And a couple pinchy sort of climbs. Okay, then you eventually get down towards the rail line. We follow that along for quite some time. So this leg is about 16 kilometres long. Predominantly it follows the railway line. It's a lot more straight and direct than any other part of our course. Definitely has a lot more runnable sections, but in saying that, there's still some short, sharp stuff that will shock the legs. You eventually get to this section, what we call the goat track. The goat track is one of the more technical sections on the course. It's very short-lived though, so it's probably only 500 metres long. It is harder to find your way through there, but we mark it heavy. You're going to be jumping over logs, climbing over rocks, working your way underneath branches and stuff like that. So once you get beyond that, you're very close to aid station 4, so probably a kilometre at tops. This is where the foot studio are based, so a bunch of podiatrists who are going to help you get up and running again if your feet are struggling. This is a good aid station with some hot food and supplies. We have, again, all the lollies, all the slices, all the good stuff that's going to help you.
Some hot soup there as well.
Get there, yeah. And this is the only aid station for the 28k. Drop bags are permitted here. your crew can still come down here. They do have to catch a bus transfer for the last 3 kilometres because this is a very small car park and the road leading in is a bit challenging. Out of here, it's nothing too crazy. Again, just sort of following the rail line. Then you get to a point where we're going to kick to the right. Okay. Ooh, we've highlighted something here, having some technical challenges.
We're back on.
Then we turn right onto the Queen and King of the Mountains section, which is sponsored by Red Bull this year. This is about a 3K climb. Not crazy steep, but very consistent. And by the top of it, you reach the highest point of Transcend. So yeah, that's a good, honest climb. We do have prizes for the people that do that the fastest, which are pretty cool. At the top, there is some ladders. The video here shows a bit more of a rickety ladder. We have some permanent structures there now, which are more solid and less intimidating.
And the tree planting there as well.
Yeah, so Emerald Farms, one of our sponsors, they also do a tree planting zone here. If you're not racing for the gold nuggets from Orabanda or the cash, we encourage you to stop and give back to the land and plant a tree. We also do have some stuff at the finish line as well. You follow a fence line here, so just some fire break, nothing crazy. Then you use another ladder to get over. This section after this is really cool. We've carved out a really nice trail and defined it by some logs and stuff like that laying on the ground that feed you down to the bottom of this sort of valley. Now you're going to think you're almost done. There is a little aid station here at the back, which is actually a bit more for the turnaround point for the 6 and 12K event that Bendigo Bank and Community 2J and Northern Bank have sponsored, and also Rural Building Company. But from this point here, we actually are happy to support you as well and give you some basic supplies. There's not a hell of a lot there, but enough to get you through the final 3 kilometres of the course. So you should be able to probably hear our raging finish village by here, but you're not done, okay? There's still a little bit of honest terrain to sort of go up and down and around. So you'll push through some single track. As you can see, this section here has some flexibility in exactly where the trail goes.
The mapping's slightly different every year.
But yeah, overall it's much the same. You eventually get down to the railway line again, and then kick up right to the final stretch. So it's the last where we finish on a bit of an incline. Now we have an 80-metre light tunnel here, which is a beautiful spectacle to go through to finish. At the top, we reward you with a Rocky Ridge Brewing
beer,
mid-strength beer. This year, the Crisp, which is a delicious touch that they've given us. And then we've also got Rome Distillery, the gin distillers there, pizzas, burgers, Steep Hill coffee. There's heaps of stuff there to get the energy levels back up and to keep the juices flowing, so you stay long enough for the party hour that runs between 6 and 8 p.m. So make sure you pack a onesie. We've got hot showers here at the finish. Between 6 and 8, we party hard and cheer on the final finishes. We also, at that finish village, it's the start-finish point for obviously the 6 and 12K. It's the start-finish point for the kids' dash. It's pretty much got everything. There's going to be some great stuff to keep the kids entertained there. If you're concerned about bringing the family out, don't bring them out. We want them to have fun and cheer you guys on. At the finish village, there's heaps of seating and tents and all that sort of jazz. So we also have presentations at 4:30 p.m. So make sure you hang around for those.
4:30 p.m.-ish. Yeah.
And we have the buses leave from 5:30 and 8:30 to take people back to the Midland sort of train station. Okay, so we're pumped.
There we go.
We're looking forward to it.
Remember all that. Fantastic. We'll see you out there, team.
Enjoy.